What's up, everybody? It's your favorite gal pal, Scarlett Cyanide, and we are back for yet again another Scarlett Cyanide's Sit and Sip. As always, I am joined by my very lovely co-host, Jordan.
Hey, I'm also here.
Today, we have actually made it to season 17, episode 14. I know, apparently all last week I was just saying episode 14, episode 14. This was episode 14, so we have finally made it. It was the, I guess, what's right before a finale? A semifinals?
Yeah, it was the semifinal episode.
Yeah, semifinal episode. How is your headliner? Where the girls were auditioning basically for a headlining spot at the RuPaul's Drag Race Las Vegas live show. And I can't wait to talk about this because I think this was actually a really, really cool episode. You know, Jordan, I'm actually so proud of us because this is actually a pretty big deal. I mean, obviously it's a big deal for the girls competing on Drag Race, but we have almost closed out our very, very first season as our own channel, which is really cool.
Yeah.
So I'm feeling great, and I was definitely thinking for the finale, we'll have to do something special, I don't know, get some treats or a little champagne or just something like that. We'll figure it out.
Yeah, sounds fun.
Now, before we get into breaking down the episode, Jordan, what are you sipping on today?
I've just got water. Just water today.
Love it. It's getting predictable, but I also have water and I have coffee.
Cool.
Help, I have a coffee problem.
I had coffee, but I already finished it.
Nice. Now, before we get into it, don't forget to support the channel by liking the video and subscribing. And if you want to join us every single week for our live watch-alongs, plus exclusive content just for members, you can become a Seated and Sipping member. And all that information is down below. All right, Jordan, it's that time. Let's grab a seat, take a sip, and get into this episode.
Oh, yeah.
All right, let's get right into it. There was a lot happening this episode.
A very busy episode.
Yes.
Some episodes, they kind of seem like they're dragging their heels because they don't have as much to fill the time, but that was not the case in this episode. There was always something happening.
Overall, the girls were tasked with 4 different things that they had to accomplish in this episode. So they had to do a photo shoot all geared towards their promos for RuPaul's Drag Race Vegas live show. Yeah. So they had to do a photo shoot. They had to make a promotional video. Then they had an interview that they got to do with the Drag Race beloved herself, Latrice Royale, which was very fun. And then on top of all of that, they had to star and perform in RuPaul's new song, Gift Shop.
Which was, we'll get to this, but was that the full length of the song, you think? Or was that a cut down version? Because that was a pretty short song. Yeah,
fully. I was actually expecting more to the song as well, or them to have some solo parts or something like that. But no, it was just a quick little number, wasn't it?
It was.
Yeah. And then they also had a runway on top of everything, and the runway category was opulent outerwear, which was really fun. So I'm excited to talk about all this.
Absolutely, me too.
So the girls come back to the workroom, back from their double save.
Back from the double save, so everybody's in a good mood.
Top 5 and alive is, I think, what Anya said.
Yeah. They pointed out top 5 again.
Again.
I think that was Sam Starr. She was like, okay, I love everybody's here, but we got to clear some people out of here.
We got to clear it out. And RuPaul made an illusion of a comment that referred to maybe that 2 people would be going home.
Yeah.
Y'all, this episode overall, because there were so many components, and I honestly feel like each person kind of hit different marks on each of the challenge, that I'm just going to say it. The top 4 that we have now, I think is literally one of the closest, tightest top 4s that we have ever had.
I would agree, because literally I could see any of them winning. Track record or no, I could see any of the top 4 winning. And this top 4 wasn't a huge surprise. This was kind of, for at least the past few weeks, what we all figured was going to happen.
Yes. Now, it was a surprise for one of the contestants. So, of course, y'all, I know we've been kind of razzing on her a little bit and talking about her all season, but all of the bubbles and the, how Lucius, our previous guest, said the drag delusion of Miss Susie Toot, the bubble burst.
Yeah.
On this challenge for her, and she actually finally got a lot of critique that, honestly, like, I feel like we and other, Drag Race commentators have been kind of saying, like, the whole season. So this was a very interesting episode, and I think, it was eye-opening.
Yeah.
For the girls.
It all felt like it could have really helped Susie a few weeks back, but she's been safe and safe and safe, so she keeps not getting critiques. So she was hearing things that would have helped her weeks ago. But she was left to her own belief that she's just killing it.
Right, and she even said that she's been dominating the whole competition.
Yeah.
Because when RuPaul tells them, like, hey, you're going to have to do all these things, and they know that the brief is Vegas focused, some girls really took that to heart, and some girls kind of was like, oh, I'm just going to do what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
So the first thing that they got into was the photo shoots.
Yes.
And, right away, in this photo shoot, the writing was on the wall. The writing was on the wall for, I think, what was going to be happening this episode. Because the very, very first person that we saw do the photo shoot was Jules.
And she was amazing.
Oh, my God. Yes.
And everybody seemed to agree. The writing was definitely on the wall that this was a good week for Jules Sparkles, because from the moment she stepped out, all the pictures were good. Every note RuPaul had. The biggest thing is she had RuPaul laughing the whole time.
The entire time. Yes.
And that's what you need.
Yes. And RuPaul even said she was the easiest to photograph. And I mean, we very much saw that.
Yeah.
Like you said, she was having fun. RuPaul was laughing. She was joking around, but also giving you beautiful poses, giving you Vegas. Jules was so smart in her decisions.
Yes.
Each decision that she made throughout this episode. What did you think of Jules's outfit and everything for the photo shoot?
It was absolutely beautiful, and it definitely captured Vegas. She says later in the episode, I understood the assignment, and boy, did she.
She really did.
I think we all commented that she came out looking like Ariana Grande. Not a bad thing.
No.
Not a bad thing at all.
But, oh my God. Jules looked beautiful. She was having a good time. She was doing her ding, 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 which ultimately paid off a lot for her. RuPaul loved, I don't know, just the bubbly cuteness, youthfulness of it all is how it really felt to me.
Yeah.
So right away, I'm like, ooh, Jules is really standing out, and everybody's having a good time. And if RuPaul's laughing, that's typically a good sign.
Yes. And she was laughing the whole time.
Yes. Now, next up was Anya. And overall, how do you think Anya's photo shoot went? Did you like the outfit? What were your thoughts?
I did. I did really like the outfit. I'm a sucker for hair that comes out to the shoulders. So I thought the wig was extraordinary. Mm-hmm. Something that Anya couldn't have planned for, and honestly, I wish they had said something to her ahead of time, was she wore a black outfit and the photo promos were black background.
Yeah.
Now, luckily, there was a lot of shininess happening, so she didn't get completely lost, but a lot of her outfit got lost being the same color as the background.
Yeah.
And if they knew they were going to do that, I feel like they should have said something like, hey, don't wear all black. But it was still really good.
Yeah, it was still really good. I mean, I think overall, Anya and we kind of saw this, in my opinion, throughout the episode. Anya, for some reason, kind of kept taking a minute to like warm up, I felt like, to each one of these challenges. Because when she first came out in the photo shoot, while, I mean, she was giving feathers, she was giving, you know, jewels, she, you know, sparklies. I'm like saying Jules sparkles, but I'm not.
She was giving Jules sparkles.
Yeah, but more of her jewels were sparkling. Her rhinestones. You know, she was giving you like the essence of what you would think and want for a Vegas show and situation. But for some reason, she was feeling more timid and reserved. Now, next up was Sam Starr. And Sam came out very, very Sam. And I mean that in a beautiful way. Gorgeous. Very polished, gorgeous. The gown with the train and the hair and just the beautiful makeup. I mean, I love the balls on top of her head with all the stars going up there as they were going down her body as well. Yes, because this was essentially, like, I know they're there to promote the Vegas show, but this was also a branding challenge. Yeah. Ultimately, 100%, end of the day, this was a branding challenge. They want you to establish who you are strong before they could send you off to Vegas. Exactly. And I think Sam absolutely knows who she is as a queen and does an exceptional job of delivering her brand every single time. Yes. Now, at first, I was extremely enamored by the gown, and I'm like, yes, mama, slay it. Like, this is everything. But then, I will say, as the shoot went on, and RuPaul talked about this later on the runway, I could tell that the gown was making her seem a little stiff. Yeah. It was like her bottom half, she couldn't move, and we were just relying on, like, a lot of arms and stuff. So I don't. She had the glamorous toothache and headache. For sure. Yes. I don't know if it hit the showgirl. No, part of the Vegas. I can see that because there didn't seem to be a lot of movement in the outfit itself. Yeah. And I know, obviously, for posing, that doesn't seem super important. But for Vegas, like, if you're going to be a Vegas showgirl, like, you need to be able to look like you can move. Yeah, that's a great point. That is such a great point. And I really noticed it once they had the dancers come out because, you know, the other contestants were able to kind of play around with the dancers and like, I don't know, either be picked up or pose with them in a little bit like more dynamic ways. Whereas with Sam's picture with the dancers, somehow, for me, she almost got a little lost with the dancers. She did. I think the dancers were trying to compensate for her lack of mobility, but I feel like they overcompensated because the camera cuts away, and when it cuts back, like, somebody is back to us, but on his hands. Yeah, doing a handstand. And I'm just like, they're just trying to... Honestly, I don't know, trying to make it look like it is a motion shot or something. Yeah, but it's like, Sam really in that moment, like how Anya was like, don't upstage me to like one of the dancers. Yes, I felt like even though Sam is sitting there with all the jewels and all the just looking all the jewel sparkles, stunning, just looking stunning, but looking like she can't move a whole lot. And RuPaul even comes out and takes some of the drapery and turns on a fan to try to help. But you can also tell that maybe isn't a great sign. I will say it's never a great sign typically when RuPaul has to get up out of her chair or move from where she's standing and like physically go do something. Yeah. That's typically not a good sign for whoever is involved with that. Yeah. Now I'm splitting hairs a little bit here, but I did feel like during this, during the promo shots for both Sam and for Anya, it, as we said, it felt like the writing was on the wall for Susie the whole time. And it felt like they were like, well, we can't have one person in the bottom. So they had to kind of latch on to very little things that weren't a big deal. Yeah, exactly. Yes, like I said, split hairs. So they made us a little worried about Anya being in the bottom. They made us a little worried about Sam being in the bottom.
And we'll get to Lexi, but they made us worry for her a little bit too.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, because the next person up was Lexi.
Yeah.
So perfect segue. And how did you? Okay, before I'm already like, I get like this when it talks about Lexi because I'm always like, so gorgeous. But what did you think about Lexi's outfit? Do you think it was a good choice?
I loved Lexi's outfit. I don't feel like I understood it for the choice of Vegas.
Yeah, because she was like kind of giving you like futuristic.
She was giving you like futuristic with like, I guess futuristic's all I got. I just think Lexi is gorgeous. She's my favorite. I'm definitely Team Lexi. I'm so close to. I'm Lexi verging on Jules Sparkles, but I'm definitely Team Lexi. I'm kind of obsessed with her. Just a real quick personal thing. I just want to tell you this, like just a real quick personal thing. You know that I'm writing a book, and in my book, I have a trans woman main character. Mm-hmm. When I am writing her, I am picturing Lexi.
Oh, wow. What an homage.
And that's from before this season, because beforehand, I was just picturing a tall, skinny trans woman. But now I'm obsessed with Lexi, so I just keep picturing Lexi.
Oh, love that. Okay. Well, there you go.
Yeah.
An homage to Lexi in your book. I love
Absolutely.
that. That's really sweet. I thought Lexi's outfit for the photo shoot was a cool new take on it. I like the futuristic. I did like how different it was from a traditional Vegas. And it was giving me Vegas-esque enough. So overall, honestly, I loved it overall. When she was in her head at the beginning of the photo shoot and was like struggling with like the smiling and delivering it and serving it, I'm like, no, Lexi, no.
Because her outfit for the photos was so gorgeous.
So
the
gorgeous.
moment they camera cut to her, I was just in awe of that outfit, as I often am with the looks that Lexi brings. Yeah. She's just amazing.
She is. Miss Suzie, too, she missed the boat to Vegas. She was sailing to literally anywhere else but
she
Vegas.
Was not doing the assignment, unfortunately. And you got to do the assignment.
Yeah, and, honestly, it's very much kind of like what we said during, I don't know, maybe it was only like a few minutes ago, but about Suzie really needed critiques from the judges. And I think overall, that's what set all of her competitors apart, ultimately, was they have all gotten critiqued. They've all, like, had gotten direct feedback of, like, you need to do this, you need to stop doing that. And because Suzie has just been, she was top at the beginning of the season and then pretty much just safe straight on through, I think she was so honestly shocked at the critiques that she got, and and she even said, she's like, I thought you all were just going to love it, love what I was doing, love everything I was doing. I had no idea that you wouldn't like this.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it was a really big miss because when it comes to Vegas and the Vegas show and promoting the Vegas show, the fact that, she wasn't flexible enough in her look or her aesthetic to cater or gear herself to Vegas at all.
At all.
At all. It was such to me, like a blatant miss that I was actually like, at this point, a little shocked.
Yeah.
At when, like, and I guess that's me honestly being nice because I do think Suzie is like a super intelligent queen. When she showed up wearing the swimsuit and the character heels and the teeniest, tiniest, flattest wig.
A wig that looked like it came out of the box recently.
Literally, I was like, did Suzie give up? Like, I couldn't believe that she was like so much in like whatever I do is gold mode that ugh. Just looking around at your contestants, girl.
Yeah.
Just looking around at your contestants, I would have changed that outfit. I was shocked.
because it is the semifinal episode, and we even got a little bit of this from Lexi directed at Sam, not at Susie, but like Lexi earlier when Sam was talking about, I'm going to do my country thing, I'm going to bring country to Vegas, and Lexi's like, I don't want to tell her that that's a bad idea because this is a competition, which is exactly why I feel like nobody said anything to Susie. Maybe it's also because they don't think that Susie's going to listen, but even just as simply as, girl, Vegas is landlocked. There are no cruise ships to Vegas. No,
I was so confused at the sailor thing.
The sailor thing is going to confuse everybody in Vegas as they look around at the desert.
And the Hoover Dam is getting lower and lower every year.
Yeah.
Like, we wish we had water.
And
Susie, bring us the water.
She just had too much set in her mind. She had in mind this whole USO. I'm a USO performer, because then she starts doing her poses for her photos, and one of the first ones she does this.
Yeah, she's like doing a salute.
She's doing a little salute.
Yeah.
Ru says, "Is that your good side?" She says, "Sure." And then in a piece to camera says, "I don't really do modeling." Well, girl, come on. You're a drag queen. You should at least know which side is your good side.
Yeah, I was just like, honestly, for the first time, I think we were just seeing everything about the normal Toot experience just not work.
Just not click.
And this was, I think, the first time Susie was, seeing it not click, and she just wasn't able to adjust to that, or come back from it really, because, well, I guess, as Latrice said, life experience is the best teacher.
It is.
And I don't think this is clearly something brand new for Susie.
Yeah.
And so she just kind of... Now, the next piece that we saw, because we didn't actually get to see them film the promotional videos, but we do get to see those, luckily, later on the main stage.
Yeah.
So the next piece that we get to see is them with their interviews with Latrice.
Which was fantastic. Always love seeing Latrice.
I know.
I actually loved and was very amused by how much trouble the cameras were having with Latrice's outfit, because the sparkles were shooting everywhere. I loved that about it. It was very funny.
I love that too.
But I mean, she looked amazing.
She
looked amazing. What a great interviewer too.
She is. Oh, she's such a fabulous interviewer, and honestly, I mean, it's beyond, in my opinion, it's beyond overdue that we've seen Latrice. And so that was really cool because, season 4, and we used to see Latrice a lot and pop up on different things. She was even part of Drag U, which was an offshoot show way long time ago now. So she used to be really, really involved, but we haven't seen her recently on TV. Yeah. Now, though, Latrice is absolutely, and I mean, that's why she was there. She's a regular headliner at the Vegas Live event. Yep. And she hosts the Vegas Live all the time. And she is just so captivating. And she just, I mean, they phrased it correctly. I think Sam actually said it the best. Latrice knows what it takes to have longevity. Yes. In this business. And
she's just so effortlessly funny. Mm-hmm. She doesn't even have to try. She's just so funny.
She is so funny. So, yeah, to me, it was the perfect person to basically have the Tic Tac lunch. Yeah. Instead of them doing it with Ru. And, yeah, I think she did such a good job with all the girls. Now, I will say, these interviews for me really actually gave me some personal perspective on who I think might be our winner this season. Ooh, but we'll get to that. I love that you already said that you're Team Lexi. I love that. And I'm going to get to my team. And I want to hear what everybody else's team, who are you hashtagging? Who are you team of? Please put it in the comments. I am dying to know. And so let's talk about each one of these interviews. Yeah. Okay, so first up is Sam Starr.
Yes.
Sam Starr.
And Sam Starr just slayed this down. Latrice even said at the end, that is a star.
Yes. Now, okay, I want to get your thoughts, because I also thought that Sam slayed the interview. Were her answers super deep? not really.
No, not really.
Not really. I will say, I feel like Sam has really leaned into the stories that we've been hearing from her. But I wish she would have taken the opportunity in this interview to tell us something maybe a little bit new about her.
I was thinking that as well, because, again, and this is often the case with Sam Starr, it was very perfect. It was very polished.
It was.
It didn't feel disingenuous.
No.
It did not feel fake, but it was just so perfect and polished. It was like, yeah, you're a pageant girl. Of course you have these good stories ready to go.
Now, what did you think about, and I'm skipping forward a little bit, what did you think about Michelle's critique to Sam that she came off like cocky or like too cocky, too confident?
I think that was another splitting hairs, because we're down to the final 5 and the 4 that we knew were going to be the 4, you had to pick somebody to go up against Susie Toot.
Yeah.
So they just had to split hairs.
I think the fact that she was so poised and like ready to go with answers and we didn't learn anything new, I think it let the judges have an opportunity to like find a flaw and, I don't know, I guess point out, oh, you're sometimes too confident. I think that's like on Drag Race especially a very like weird kind of bait and switch read, because I feel like the whole season they're trying to like get everybody to be that confident.
They're like, be confident, be
yeah,
confident,
like, you're
be confident.
A star. No, you're star power.
No, too confident.
But not too, yeah.
Too confident.
Yeah. So overall, I'm kind of like, I didn't see any like swarminess.
No, neither did I.
But
Sam even called herself the villain and America's sweetheart rolled up into one. And I
didn't even agree with that. I'm like, I didn't think you were the villain at all.
That's what I was literally about to say. Is just like, I've never thought of Sam as the villain.
Yeah.
Not at a single point this season.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, she said she's really shady. And I'm just like, I don't know that I agree, or we haven't seen it.
So next up on the interview couch, I guess it wasn't a couch, it was a chair. But next up with Latrice was Anya Nurve. And Anya's, to me, I struggle with Anya's interview a little bit, because I personally thought that Anya was, if anything I'm going to critique, she was just once again coming across a little bit too timid and not right out the gates. I don't know, kind of seeming effervescent. She was kind of seeming a little like maybe closed, a little like, what's going to happen? A little apprehensive. But
She might have been.
Yeah. But overall, I actually think Anya ended up having a really nice interview.
Absolutely.
With Latrice. Yeah, how did you feel about Anya's?
I really enjoyed hers just because I found it so interesting. We learned some things that we didn't know.
Yeah.
She is a cook. We know that she's told us before that she's not been doing drag for that long, but we now know she has a full-time job outside of drag. She's only been doing drag for 3 years and
Which
only
is crazy.
Part-time.
Yeah.
And she's in the final 4 on RuPaul's Drag Race. That's incredible.
With 4 wins.
Yeah, with 4 wins. 4 freaking wins.
Yeah.
Like, she is kind of Sasha Colbying a little bit.
Ooh. I thought that overall Anya overcame like each one of these challenges. She started out a little slow, but then she kind of overcame all of that. We got to learn more about her. We got to kind of see that warm personality, that big, gorgeous smile that she has. So I thought she did really well. I will say, once again, this is where I'm like, the editing, I don't know. I'm gonna be the girl that blames the edit. But like a few times when Latrice was saying like, I don't want to be around somebody that's miserable, I'm like, when has Anya ever given you misery?
No.
In my mind?
Like timidness, like you said, maybe, in that moment. But absolutely not. Anya has been a source of joy. Definitely,
yeah. And so, I don't know. As the episode was like playing out, I was kind of like, ooh, this is a weird, like, I don't know, right away, I'm like, I don't think Anya's going to be in the bottom, but from just how everything was playing out, I'm like, okay. Like you said, they made us worry about her a little bit. I was a little worried.
They made us worry about her a little bit.
Even though I felt like I shouldn't be worrying, I was now worrying.
Kept calling it a North Carolina pastor wife's outfit.
Okay.
And not being Christian or from North Carolina, I felt like, oh, I really wouldn't know. But I was like, oh, wait, I do. Because you know what else is, it's set in North Carolina and about Jesus Christ? Righteous Gemstones.
Oh my God,
and
yeah,
she
the MASH show.
Looked like she belonged on Righteous Gemstones.
She really did. Oh my God, I love that
I would lose my mind if Anya was on Righteous Gemstones. It'd be the greatest thing ever.
Oh my God, that would be the greatest thing ever. If they were, I mean, I think this is the last season.
This is the final season.
But dang, because like I'd watch her do a guest appearance on an episode.
Oh my God, it would be so funny.
Yeah, that would be amazing. The next interview was with Suzie. Suzie Toot. And I will say the critique that we had about Sam maybe being a little bit too pageant, and then also with Anya maybe being a little timid, we saw all of that really, like, once again, for the first time, I really saw Suzie kind of like not being able to really overcome, I don't know, just like a lot of things. Like for me personally, I didn't find her super relatable.
No.
And Latrice even called out, like, don't give me, like, the BS answer.
Yes, and she was giving out the BS answers. It felt like a job interview that she wasn't prepared for. Mm-hmm. So, like she said, what's your greatest strength? Is that I'm too unique.
I'm too unique. I'm not like the other drag queens.
Yeah, I'm not like the other girls.
Like,
come on.
Yeah, I don't know. There was... For me, RuPaul's Drag Race, like, who I want to see as a winner, they have to be a total package. And I know, like, Suzie refers to herself as the total package and things like that. But I think in Drag Race world, that also really includes heart and relatability. And I think at the end of the day, the person that wins the season is typically, like, the person that, like, wins your heart. It's a heart race.
Yeah.
In so many ways. And so, yeah, Suzie just... She wasn't able to be vulnerable. She wasn't able to just open up and, I don't know, kind of, for somebody that she apparently knew because her and Latrice are both from Fort Lauderdale.
They're both from Fort Lauderdale. They talked about that. And they talked about that so early on that I thought for sure this is going to go somewhere interesting. Maybe they'll both have a story about a place in Fort Lauderdale.
Or something.
But no, nothing.
Yeah. And
nothing.
And once again, we did not learn literally anything new about Suzie.
No.
And by this point, I feel like, except for Suzie, we've actually learned a really good deal about a lot of these girls' backstories. And so for me, my kind of clue of who I think might be like final two in this, I think it might come down to Lexi and Jules. And because now what we're seeing, I'm kind of jumping ahead, but with this top four, we're kind of seeing like the two professionals, Sam and Anya, versus the two, like, they've struggled, but they're lovable and they've won your heart.
Yeah, they're just like naturally raw talent.
Yeah, like very naturally, just charismatic, effortless. And so, I think I found the relatability between Jules and Lexi, and then of course you have like your high traditional drag standards over with Anya and Sam.
Yeah.
So that's another reason why I'm like, this is like the tightest top four ever, or like in a very, very long time for me, because I'm like, the girls are unique, but they're also like, there's some similar stories that are popping up.
Yeah. Before we moved on, I wanted to say one more thing about Suzie Toot's interview. Besides the fact that her outfit was like, girl, what was that? It was nothing. It was like not even any sparkles. Put some sparkles on it.
I will say I liked her outfit the best, the interview outfit the best out of anything she wore.
Of everything she wore that night. Yeah. But she said something that was very telling to me of, okay, she's not listening to anything anybody's saying. She's still just like, I've got this. I'm killing it. because in her interview, when she was talking about being Ellen Green, and she was talking about how that just like didn't play at all for RuPaul, she then goes on to say, I wish I had the exact words, but something to the effect of, you don't need to, I realized I'm too niche, and you need to let everybody laugh. Well, girl, why are you not letting everybody laugh? That just tells me you were just playing to the niche audience. And that's not going to get you anywhere. Comedian Blaine Capatch used to say, local jokes will get you local work.
Ooh, what a good little, like, Hollywood hot take.
So, yeah, you got to make the jokes for everybody, Susie. And she apparently realized it in that moment, but still didn't do it.
Continued to be extremely niche.
It still was a superficial realization that she's not going to actually act upon.
Wow. So then on to the next interview, which was also my favorite interview out of everybody's, which was Miss Lexi Loves.
She's so wonderful.
She is so wonderful. She is just so naturally captivating and naturally charismatic, and because she's so vulnerable all the time and she's so in touch with her emotions, it also just makes her feel like a very safe and relatable person.
Absolutely.
She's so generous, honestly, in all of the stories that she's been willing to share about herself this season.
Yeah.
I mean, really, out of all of the contestants, I really feel like we know Lexi's story the most.
I do feel like I know Lexi better than the rest of them. And that's not saying that I don't feel like I know them.
Right.
Know the rest of them. It's just Lexi is, like they said, very heart on her sleeve.
Yeah.
RuPaul was even saying, or it was either RuPaul or Michelle was saying that most people who've gone through what you go through would probably come off a little guarded, and she is not. No. She is ready to tell you exactly what's on her mind. She's ready to tell you when she's feeling good, when she's feeling bad, when she's feeling whatever.
Yeah.
And I love that. Besides it making her very relatable, I also just feel like it's a good model for how we should be with each other.
Oh, yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I feel like even though we already knew a lot about Lexi, then we learn even something more about her.
Oh my goodness. And she just like blew us away. I was not ready for that story.
Her story was just like, once again, I'm just like, like, the fact that Lexi is here with us and able to share her stories, her love, her passion, her art form with us. I just love her more and more after every episode because like she's kind of that true testament of you can fall down 1,000 times, but as long as you get up 1,001 times, you can still accomplish your dreams and your goals, like despite what life throws at you. And Lexi is just overall such an inspiring person.
I do find her very inspiring.
And everything about this episode really cemented Lexi. Ready? Y'all, you're going to be shocked to hear this because I have been #Anya this whole time. I am also leaning towards Lexi.
Team Lexi?
I think I'm Team Lexi.
We might both be Team Lexi.
We might both be Team Lexi because I was just kind of like thinking about just this whole season overall, like who's been giving us drama, who's been giving us commentary, who's been giving us laughs, who's been making us cry,
absolutely.
Who's gone on the whole arc of like lows and highs and overcoming everything. Whose story do we know the most about?
We sure, and it's definitely her. And that's another thing that I just love so much about her is she, and Latrice brought this up too, is she is such a prime example of how you learn from your mistakes and your failures. and you just keep kicking ass and keep moving.
Yeah.
Like
Love that.
Lexi is one of those people who can absolutely say, well, I fucked that up. On to the next thing. I'll do better next time. And I love that. I love that.
I think Lexi would be just an absolute celebration of a winner. Like, such like we as just like people that struggle and doubt ourselves and go through things, it's like she's our people's champion.
Exactly.
I really do feel like she's like the relatable person's champion type of thing.
I do truly feel like it's if Lexi could do it, I could do it.
Yeah. Okay. I love that. And not
not in a drag way, not in a bad, not in a way where I'm like, oh, well, I could do that. Yeah. No, not at all. Yeah. Oh my God.
I mean, same.
Not at all. But
amazing,
she is just such a good example of, like, just as a person, we can do these things as long as we don't give up.
Yeah, exactly. I love that.
She gets in her head, but she's resilient.
Mm-hmm. Now, our last interview was Jules Sparkles. Yay. Yes. Oh my gosh. So overall, what did you think about Jules' interview?
First off, I loved her jacket. I could not stop looking at it. It kept folding in on itself in these ways that I was just trying to figure out. So I loved that. I couldn't tell. It looked like it might be leather. I couldn't tell exactly. And then it had these interesting wraps around the arms that cut it off at 3/4 sleeve, but still went up to the wrist. I didn't understand it, but I loved it.
Amazing.
And that's just the jacket, though.
I love that. Yeah. Yes. Jules was definitely one of my like best dressed, like top marks of the episode overall.
Oh my goodness! Every look this episode by Jules was just. She knew the assignment. Yep. She nailed it.
Yes. What did you think of her interview with Latrice?
I thought her interview was really good. I think about what Ross Matthews said later on about how it wasn't super vulnerable until she was stumped.
Yeah.
Until, as Latrice said, crickets, bitch. Mm-hmm. And that was just, just also like Ross said, that was what we were looking for, because it's very relatable. Like, I don't know. Right now, I sure don't know what's 5 years from now.
Yeah. Yep. Neither do I.
It's very relatable.
Very relatable. Yeah. And I actually think Jules did such a fantastic job in this interview, because where it seemed like in Susie's case, she seemed very underprepared for the interview.
Yeah.
Jules came in and she was like ready to sell like what she was going to do in Vegas. She's like, I'm going to do burlesque mixed with high energy, and I'm going to give you this and that. And like her energy and her enthusiasm was so infectious. Yeah. So like I actually thought overall, like when they were saying, oh, she didn't come off as, vulnerable in the beginning. Actually, for me, I was feeling that vulnerability the whole time, because her just sharing how enthusiastic she was and her ideas for like what she was going to do on the Vegas show. I'm like, this is awesome. This is adorable. You know what? She's really thought about this, and she's like going for it.
That is an excellent point. You know what? You've changed my mind. I now that I'm thinking about it, that was very vulnerable, because there's no doubt that, because this is a branding challenge, there is no doubt that Jules did the best job of branding herself in this episode.
Yeah, definitely.
And so, you're right. Being that sure of what she would do is itself a vulnerable position.
Yeah. So let's jump now to the performance that they did on the main stage, which was to the song Gift Shop, which is going to be the new song introduced in the Vegas show. Yeah. Because they do update the songs and, switch stuff out. And depending on who's there, each girl has like their own number and everything. It's really cool. I know you haven't gotten to see it yet, but I've actually gotten to see the Drag Race live show.
Cool.
So, yeah.
I've never even been to Las Vegas.
Oh my God.
Did I call it Lost Vegas?
Yeah.
I do like to call it Lost Wages. I've never been to Las Vegas.
Well, I have been to Vegas a bajillion times, and I've seen a Drag Race show.
Nice.
So I, as a, patron of Drag Race Live previously, I kind of know what the expectations are for the numbers, what we're looking for, and things like that. So I was pretty excited to see how this performance was going to go. do you have any first like initial thoughts about the performance? How did you like it?
From the moment RuPaul said the song was called Gift Shop, I was giggling about that. I was like, I love it. Just a song about go buy stuff in the gift shop. I love that.
Yes.
I love it. I love it. It's direct in the most hilarious way. Earlier, it was a really short song. I'm hoping maybe there's a longer version.
Yeah.
Or
I'm assuming there would be.
Or maybe because it's about the gift shop, maybe it's going to be the last number so that they can remind you real quick.
Out. Right. Now get out. Go get that gift shop. Yeah, I did think it was going to be longer. I was honestly kind of also assuming some sort of like individual solo moments in there.
Me too.
It was really hard in my mind just from watching the performance to figure out if anybody was going to like come on top from that.
Yeah.
Now, I will say, though, I was looking at the outfits, I think, the most when it came to the performance. And there was definitely some that stood out to me more than others.
Yeah.
For me, hands down, favorite outfit of the performance was Lexi's. I thought it was very smart, very eye-catching.
RuPaul said she couldn't stop looking at her. She had to, like, force herself to look at the other girls.
Yeah, yeah.
And for me, it was actually Jules Sparkles. I just loved her outfit.
Another blazer.
Even though she got the least amount of camera time of any of the girls. If you're watching that, when you're watching that, they just kept cutting away from her. And I felt like that was rude because her outfit was so good.
Overall, like, after this performance, I'm like, okay, I couldn't really tell. Besides for just the fact of the outfits, I'm like, I can't really tell who did well.
I can't really tell who did well in this song because there weren't any solos, like you said, and it didn't seem like anyone did particularly bad.
Yeah. Yeah, like nobody was just like missing a step or nobody fell or, you know, like, because sometimes that happens.
Yeah.
Like sometimes somebody's like blatantly out of sync. But yeah, no, I mean, they're all good performers.
Yeah.
You know. Now, the runway was opulent outerwear.
Love it.
I loved this runway category. I know, I can't wait to break it all down. All right, so first up on the runway was Jules Sparkles. Oh, and her jewels did sparkle.
Oh my goodness, did they?
Yes, what did you think about this outfit?
I loved it. It was gorgeous. She said she felt like an angel. She definitely looked like an angel with all the really beautiful feathers coming off the back. She was all sparkly and had the nice nude illusion. It was terrific. It was just gorgeous. Oh, the onions. I was like, there's something else.
Oh yes,
the
onions.
Nobody else said it. Maybe this is just me, but I could not get over how much her hair looked like onions, but in a wonderful way. Not in a bad way.
No. The most beautiful onions you've ever seen.
The most beautiful yellow onions ever, and they were all in Jules' hair. Yes. It was great.
Oh, she's like an ogre. She's got layers. Or wait, no, that's an onion layer. Okay, anyway. You're not an ogre, Jules. I'm sorry. I was trying to do a Shrek thing.
I was like, I think that's Kori King's thing, doing the Shrek stuff.
Oh my God. Those pictures are so unhinged.
They are. I've been seeing them in every, like, groups that have nothing to do with RuPaul's Drag Race are posting those pictures.
That is so funny.
Kori has made it as awkward Shrek.
As awkward Shrek. Oh my God, I'm obsessed. So, yes. No, okay, back to Jules.
Yes, back to Jules.
And her beautiful onion hair. Yes,
Made me cry.
Somebody cutting onions. Oh wait, that's Jules' wig. No. I was obsessed. I was obsessed with her look. It was so beautiful. When she came out, I'm like, this is opulent. Yes, like check every category. Literally, she was so smart. And they even said that. The mark of somebody that's like ready is somebody that can make good decisions every single time. And Jules, despite her being younger, despite her maybe not having as much life experience and all of those things, what Jules was able to do today was to make the best possible choice for every category. And I know for me, now this is not my sip or my spit yet, but for me, Jules' look was absolutely my favorite one on the runway tonight.
It was gorgeous. My favorite is Lexi. My favorite look on the runway tonight was Lexi, but again, Jules is a very close second for me.
Yes. Now we can go ahead and talk about Lexi's look.
Let's do it.
Yes. Lexi's look, once again, another like check for opulent outerwear. I love her twist and her take on it. And oh my God, the fact that she made that puffer coat like the star attraction.
And it was...
Oh my God.
It was stunning.
Oh my God.
That jacket was amazing.
It was. It was such a perfect blend of like opulent, right? Because of the color, of the fabric, of the scale of it, the sheer like volume of it. But also keeping it cool, keeping it current, keeping it fresh.
And it felt like her, not just because of the rhinestoned heart on the back. Even without that, you'd be like, oh, that's Lexi's jacket.
Yeah.
They say this a lot. They didn't say it this time, but I feel like of everybody, that was the most Met Gala look.
Oh, was Lexi's?
I could see that on somebody at the Met Gala.
Definitely, because it's like fashion forward, but a lot of drama.
It was
over the top.
It was also like hip and current.
Yeah.
The puffer jacket felt very current, really added something.
Yeah.
I loved it.
I love that. Yeah. Our next top was Anya Nurve. And honestly, like Jewel Sparkles, check with the branding. Lexi, check with the branding. Anya, once again, big old check with the branding. Anya came out and she gave you the Anya opulence. I mean, the big, huge, like, I think she even called them like, were they knockers? I mean, these are door knockers?
They were basically door knockers, yeah.
I'm like, wait, which knockers talking about here? Yes, like, just the scale. Once again, it's like, bigger is better, is giving me opulence, because the big earrings, the amazing coat with all the fabric, and I don't even know how to even describe everything on her jacket, but it painted a story, and I was buying it. Let's go to our two bottom placing girls of the episode. So there was Sam Starr, and I think this kind of follows the order too. So Sam Starr, for me, it's not that I didn't like Sam's look or think it was pretty. I think she had a smart idea when she said that she wanted to do something a little bit different, and she figured everybody was going to be showing up in jackets, so she did a cape moment. But I think Ross hit it on the head when he said that the look dates her, and I actually am so used to Sam being like more of a fashion forward queen.
And her youthful beauty being such a part of it. It was interesting seeing, like, because it really did. Even the haircut, the bangs, even the bangs made her just seem older than she is. Yeah,
I was actually just going to say that. Between the cut of the dress, it was like straight out of the 60s or 70s, actually.
Yeah,
I was shocked with the choices of everything. I didn't feel like it read Sam at all. So, I don't know, it wasn't my favorite look.
I still felt like it read Sam Starr, but it was like showing a different Sam Starr than we were used to. And I don't know if it was necessarily the right one for this challenge is the problem.
Yeah.
She looked like an old woman who would be in Vegas at the Sluts. Not performing.
But staying in the suite.
Yeah.
But still staying in like the high roller suite.
Oh, yeah.
Very rich woman.
Rich older woman playing the slots. She's got 5 boyfriends that are like a third her age.
Love that. Yes.
But not on stage. Not on stage.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, if Sam read old, then Susie read as, I don't know, deceased or something.
Yeah, for real.
Because while Sam was giving you 1960s, Miss Susie, she was 40 years behind that.
Yeah,
and she was
taking us back to the 20s like she always does.
Full on out with the 20s. And you know what? Even though overall the aesthetic, I'm burnt out. We are all burnt out. The judges are burnt out on the 1920s, the flappers and everything.
Yeah.
I will say, I did love her outerwear. I did love that cocoon jacket.
That coat was pretty terrific.
The coat was like, honestly, kind of everything.
Yeah.
I loved it.
And as a person who also collects old clothing items. I did appreciate that it was authentic. She said so.
Yeah.
I have no reason to believe that it wasn't.
Makeup aside, because I'll never be on board with the makeup, but I actually, ready?
Yeah.
I liked Susie's outfit better than Sam's.
Okay.
Just for this runway.
Yeah.
Finally get to the judges' critiques. And this is where we get to see the promotional videos.
Yes.
Yes. Now, the promotional videos, I knew that these were going to be what sets everybody, like, over the edge in terms of tops, bottoms.
Yeah.
And so I was like, boop, boop. Like, let me really pay attention to these videos.
Yes.
So the very, very first video was, I mean, my favorite, and I think, like, the best video, which was Jules. Yes. And Jules, I mean, I think the judges were really correct when it came to the critiques on this video, which was she sold Vegas. She had, like, a wink and a smile. She had humor. It was something that it would capture you right away because she was like, hey, you, like, or something like that at the beginning.
Yeah.
And it was just, like, the perfect blend of, like, her showing her personality, but also selling the Vegas show and making you want to go to it.
Absolutely. And
ding, ding, ding.
And the ding, ding, dings, I loved those.
Yeah. So cute.
It was, without a doubt, the most Vegas of the promo videos.
Yes.
And as the judges said, that was the one where the judges said, I would see, if I saw that video, I would pay attention, I would go to that show.
Yeah, definitely. Now, I'm not going in video order because I'm going to, like, my top 2 videos.
Sounds good.
Which my other favorite video was Anya's. Like, so as much as I was, like, a little worried about Anya throughout the episode, once I saw her promotional video, I'm like,
okay,
I'm not worried.
Yeah, because we were worried. It's like, who's going to be with Susie Toot in the bottom today?
Yeah.
And they were making us feel like it could be anybody except for Jules.
Yeah.
For sure, Anya's promotional video was the most well-branded.
Oh, my gosh,
Like,
yes.
Jules's was quite well-branded, but you couldn't give the script of what Anya said to somebody else and have it make sense. That was Anya.
Yes. Yeah. You hit it nail on the head. Like, she was able to capture your attention and really promote herself the best in her video in terms of, like, displaying her personality and kind of, like, what you can expect out of her. But, like, doing it through humor and jokes. She just did such an amazing job, like, putting her personality on display and just making you want to come to the show no matter what she's doing.
Absolutely. I 100% agree.
Let's talk about some of the more, like, lesser successful videos.
Okay.
So I would say, well, we'll go to Lexi because Lexi was safe and ultimately she's carried through the finale, which we love. But I felt like she was a little unclear of what she wanted to sell in this promotional video for Vegas. I don't know. What did you feel about Lexi's?
See, I actually didn't feel the confidence was what was lacking in Lexi's video. I actually felt like Lexi was pretty confident in her delivery, but like the fact that she started off by doing a version of the what stays in Vegas joke just shows me that she just told me right away. I'm like, oh, okay, she didn't exactly know what to say here.
Let's then move on to another, our bottom two. Our bottom two in their promotional videos, because I still think that the promotional videos were very much like the tiebreaker in terms of like, who was going to be in the bottom. And where, Lexi still had some humor and was giving you still honestly the vulnerability. Like she was trying to go there and sell you the show. I think ultimately what put Sam in the bottom was she did lose a bit of the vulnerability. And I mean, I think when they said her promotional video kind of felt like there was like saran wrap on it.
Yeah, Tracy Ellis said that, and I completely agreed with her. It did just feel like there was a disconnect between Sam and the camera.
Yeah. So, it honestly, like, it didn't have a lot to do with the Vegas show. the country thing, like I put the C-U-N-T in country. Normally that's a funny joke, but I was like, it kind of, at the end of the video, kind of came out of left field for me. I'm like, wait, the country, once again, we're in Vegas. Like, so I just think she definitely should have tailored her everything more about her, like, package this episode to the Vegas show. And ultimately, she didn't do that, and Susie didn't do that. Yeah. And I think that ended them both up at the bottom, for sure. So.
I think it could have been salvaged if Sam had taken the time to realize what I need to do is find a way to make that the gimmick of I'm a country girl in Vegas. That don't make no sense.
Yeah, like country goes Vegas. Yeah,
like,
or whatever.
Like, what am I doing here? Well, I'll tell you.
Yeah.
Something like that.
I like that. I love that, actually. Yes. Yeah. Exactly to that detriment, obviously, was also Susie Toot's promotional video. She's on a boat in the middle of the ocean, like you said. Vegas is in the desert.
Vegas is in the desert.
She's saluting. She's, like, making all these other references. And we all know, we all saw it. Just nothing about the video made sense. There was no... You could see throughout this entire challenge that Susie Toot herself had no personal connection into anything that she was doing in this challenge. So the video, the photo shoot, the interview, it was all just like...
just impersonal.
Cutting to like the critiques. Really, I think what we saw for the first time was Susie was hearing... Like we kind of said at the beginning of this episode.
Yeah.
She heard all at once, at one time, kind of all these critiques that should have been delivered to her.
Throughout the season.
Throughout the entire season. And honestly, in this moment, as much as we've been kind of like, I don't know, I don't feel like we're like razzing on Susie. I think we're just stating our opinions. But as much as our opinions have been very clear about
the Toot.
I actually did kind of feel bad for her in this moment because you could see like the wind. Speaking of sails, the wind was left out of her sails. The sails were slashed. Like she was very defeated. I feel like she was like hearing a lot of things that had never occurred to her for the very, very first time. And yeah, honestly, her being safe so many episodes this season, it ultimately did her a disservice because everybody else had gotten critiques and had time to work on things that the judges wanted to see out of them. And so when all of this kind of crash and burn for her in this episode, I think it was just like a total like shock. Congratulations to Jules. Jules now joins them in the 2-win club.
Yup.
So Jules is going into this finale. Really, it's a pretty even playing field. I mean, of course, Anya's got her 4 wins.
I mean, yeah, Anya's moved ahead with the 4 wins.
The girls going on to the finale are, of course, Jules Sparkles, who is our winner of the challenge.
And she deserved it. She just
so deserved it.
She just killed this episode.
Lexi Love is also moving on to the finale. And then Anya Nurve is also moving on to the finale, which... I'm like, yep, check, correct.
All makes sense.
Yeah, and the bottom 2 were Sam and Susie Toot. And they got to lip sync to a Diana Ross song.
You know it's serious because Ru loves Diana Ross. Everybody knows that.
Yeah, like literally that's like her idol. Like that is her Michelle Visage's Madonna.
Yeah.
Because Michelle loves Madonna.
Michelle loves Madonna.
So, so this was a very much like don't F it up moment.
Yeah.
And
it's like really don't F this one up.
Yeah. And, ooh, y'all, this lip sync, it was pretty, I don't know. I was a little like, who's going to do it? Who's it going to go to? It was kind of a nail biter.
It was close. It was pretty close. I felt like Sam cemented herself better. She planted herself, not literally in one place, but she just, Susie didn't have the presence and the intention that I felt like Sam did. Sam knew exactly what she was going to do for this song.
Definitely, yeah. Yeah, Sam, while it may have seemed a little bit lower energy, because Susie was giving it a lot of movement and traveling and moving around and stuff.
She was giving it her all, for sure.
But, yeah, I think you said it so well, is that Sam was very intentional in her delivery. I think Susie overall did a really good job. But once she started doing the flapper stuff, I'm like, I don't think RuPaul is going to really feel her oats with flapper stuff to her fave. Ultimately, Sam Star is our fourth contestant moving forward to the finale.
Yeah, we got the top 4 that we kind of saw coming for a while.
Yes, and the top 4 that I was hoping for. You know, next week, we actually get to see all the eliminated girls. I'm assuming Susie Toot as well.
Yeah.
Because they will get to compete in a lip sync Lollapalooza. And that means they're probably going to... So typically, well, not typically, recently on, especially like All-Star seasons and just some recent previous seasons, the eliminated girls get to do like a lip sync for some sort of title. Okay. And like usually smaller amount of prize money.
Okay.
So so basically we're going to see these girls keep lip syncing, and then whoever prevails out of the eliminated girls, they'll probably get some sort of like, still like, I don't know, some sort of prize, some sort of title or something like that.
Okay.
So, right. It is that time. So let's talk about who our sip of the week was this week and who our spit of the week was this week. And this might not be too like shocking or surprising for anybody, because I mean there were only 5 people to talk about.
Yeah.
So Jordan, who was your sip of the week?
My sip of the week was my love, Lexi Love.
Oh, I love that. Yes. Sip to Lexi.
Just I loved her. The puffer jacket just is still on my mind, just how incredible it was.
I love that. Yeah. I know, it was amazing. My sip of the week, I gotta give it to our winner of the week, Jules Sparkles. I hit the mark when every challenge that was thrown at her this week, she was able to take critique, she was able to rise above, she was able to be herself, cutesy, vulnerable, but also confident, and like deliver on branding, honestly, like harder than anybody. I was just like, Jules. Jordan, who is your spit of the week this week? If I even have to ask.
I mean, yeah, you don't have to ask.
And it's going to be the same for both of us. I can already tell you.
So I'm glad that we can talk a little bit more about it, because it is Susie Toot. And I really wanted to say, while it was actually pretty close there for a little bit in that lip sync with Sam, the thing that really hurt Susie that I kept noticing, I don't know how obvious it was to everybody, but she kept flubbing words. And Sam is, if nothing else, a just absolute killer physical enunciator.
And my spit is also the Toot. Just the total miss on every category. But honestly, what the extra spit of it all for me is y'all, I did not, because now I'm paying attention to the mirror messages after the whole Arrietty thing.
Oh my God. Thank you for bringing this up. Yes.
Yeah. You know, I was actually, I don't know, disappointed, surprised, disappointed. I don't know what I should have felt. But when she said, it just got a lot easier. And then when she left, she was like, your victory is going to be tainted because I should have won. I'm like, well, sure, once again, she meant it to just be cheeky and playful. Yeah. But I don't know. I don't think that was very like a cute way to exit. So now we've also reached the time for our final thoughts about the episode this week. So at the end of the day, Jordan, what is your final thought for these fine people?
At the end of the day, and yes, this is very Susie Toot specific, but it's for everybody, do not shoot for safe. I was saying it already when she was doing it, and now she's gone. Don't shoot for safe, and this time it's because you need them critiques. You ain't going to get critiques when you're safe.
Yeah.
Just shooting for safe is boring. like, you gotta take the risk of it being really bad for it to maybe be really good.
Yeah. My, at the end of the day, is if you lose or you go out, like, I do think that sportsmanship, or even with winning, I think that sportsmanship is important. And I think that it is important to stay aware of, even if, like, you think you're being funny, and this is something I've had to learn for myself. You think you're being funny, but, like, what you say or your actions just might come off as kind of, like, in poor taste.
Yeah.
And so I don't know, my at the end of the day is have good sportsmanship and don't say things like, I don't know, people's wins are tainted and blah, blah, blah. People don't deserve stuff. I don't know.
Yeah.
It just rubbed me the wrong way. So at the end of the day, be nice.
It also just felt like she was being a sore loser. Like you just said, sportsmanship.
Yeah. Now, we want to hear about what y'all thought about this week's episode. Drop in the comments below who you think is going to be our winner. And of course, we want to hear about who your sips and spits of the week are.
Always.
Thank you so much for joining us. We can't wait to chat with you more. We might have another special guest next week. So I can't wait to introduce them to you, and y'all be safe. Take care. We will see you next Monday. Bye.